And then in April of '88, he said, yeah, we think it's $250,000. So, I'm no longer a naive 22-year-old. I'm a naive.
At 59, Rick Harrison, the star of the popular reality TV show Pawn Stars, has confirmed heartbreaking news that has sent shockwaves through his fans and the media. His son, Adam Harrison, has been sentenced to life in prison, a devastating revelation that has left many stunned. The tragic truth surrounding Adam's life and the events leading to his sentence are far more complex and heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. Rick, known for his business acumen and charm on the show, now faces one of the toughest challenges of his life as a father, navigating the loss of his son in such a public way. The emotional toll this has taken on Rick and the Harrison family is profound, and the details behind Adam's sentence are both shocking and deeply saddening. The birth of a reality hit Pawn Stars, a beloved reality TV show, owes its existence to a stroke of inspiration during a trip to Las Vegas in 2008. Producers Brent Montgomery and Colby from Left Field Pictures were immediately struck by the sheer number of pawn shops that dotted the city. Fascinated by the idea of showcasing one with deep historical roots and a multi-generational family dynamic, they saw potential in bringing a pawn shop into the spotlight. Their pitch to the History Channel was accepted, and thus, Pawn Stars was born. The show quickly found its rhythm by focusing on the Harrison family and their gold and silver pawn shop, which had been in operation since 1989. The shop, located just off the Las Vegas Strip, became the heart of the series, with its cluttered interior showcasing rare coins, antique firearms, vintage guitars, and other intriguing historical artifacts. These items served as educational points, drawing in viewers interested in the rich history behind them. However, it was the family's unique dynamic that truly captivated the audience. Rick Harrison, his father Richard Old Man Harrison, and Rick's son Corey Big Hoss Harrison became the faces of the show, each offering something distinct. Rick, with his sharp business acumen and easygoing nature, was the perfect bridge between the older and younger generations. Richard Harrison, or Old Man, became a fan favorite for his no-nonsense approach, dry humor, and years of wisdom in the pawn business. His relationship with Rick was both comedic and poignant, with the two often exchanging witty banter. Corey, the younger Harrison, provided the fresh perspective and youthful energy that balanced the dynamic, often sparring with his father and grandfather, yet proving himself as a capable businessman in his own right. The tragic death of Adam Harrison. In early 2024, tragedy struck when Rick Harrison confirmed that his son Adam had passed away at the age of 39. The circumstances surrounding Adam's death were deeply disturbing and highlighted the growing fentanyl crisis sweeping across the United States. Authorities reported that Adam had died from an accidental overdose, and the Clark County Coroner's Office confirmed the cause of death as fentanyl intoxication. Police responded to a call in Las Vegas regarding an unresponsive individual in a guest house on a residential property. Upon arrival, they discovered Adam's lifeless body. According to the investigation, Adam had only been out of jail for 3 months and had been staying on the property as a guest. Friends reported he had been reclusive, often locking himself in his room and communicating sporadically. Roommates noted increasingly erratic behavior, barricading himself inside, speaking incoherently, and even harming himself. One neighbor revealed that Adam gave himself 2 black eyes in an apparent emotional outburst. Drug paraphernalia was found near his body, including straws, vials, and a foil packet. The tragedy underscored the powerful grip of addiction and the ease with which fentanyl claims lives. A family at war, legal battles, and betrayal. Adam's death was not the first turmoil the Harrison family had faced. In 2022, Rick Harrison's own mother, Joanne Harrison, filed a lawsuit against him in Nevada State Court. The suit claimed that Rick had exploited her during a period of unconsciousness, coercing her to sign over her 51% ownership stake in the gold and silver pawn shop. Joanne alleged that Rick had not only taken control of the business without her consent, but had also cut off her share of profits from the family trust. These claims shocked fans who had once admired the tight-knit family dynamic portrayed on screen. Legal documents detailed years of financial disputes, and many followers began to question whether the on-screen harmony was just another scripted illusion. The lawsuit dredged up long-standing grievances, exposing deep fractures in the Harrison family. Though the outcome of the case has not been widely publicized, the legal battle tarnished the show's wholesome image. Fans were left wondering how such betrayal could fester beneath the surface of a seemingly close family. Chumlee and the Law Austin Chumlee Russell, the lovable and often humorous personality on Pawn Stars, was once the comic relief for viewers who tuned in for the charm of the gold and silver pawn shop's quirky staff. However, in 2016, his life took a dark turn that threatened not only his reputation, but the show's as well. Chumlee's Las Vegas home was raided by police in connection to a sexual assault investigation. Though the assault charges were ultimately not filed, the raid uncovered evidence of illegal substances, including marijuana, methamphetamine, and an alarming number of firearms. The discovery shocked fans who had grown accustomed to seeing Chumlee as the fun-loving, goofy character on the show. Despite the severity of the situation, Chumlee avoided jail time by accepting a plea deal. In exchange for pleading guilty to charges of drug possession and criminal weapon possession, he was sentenced to counseling and probation. The legal battle and scandal left a stain on the once pristine image of the show and its stars. Though Chumlee returned to the show after the ordeal, he faced an uphill battle in repairing his public image. He appeared remorseful for his actions and focused on changing his lifestyle, hoping to regain the trust of both fans and producers. However, the episode served as a sobering reminder that fame does not shield individuals from personal missteps or legal consequences. The incident highlighted the vulnerabilities of reality TV stars and how the pressure of public life could lead to mistakes with lasting effects. The impact of fame and the pressure to perform. The soaring success of Pawn Stars came with an avalanche of fame, fortune, and attention that transformed the gold and silver pawn shop from a local business to a global phenomenon. The shop, once just a humble establishment in Las Vegas, became a tourist destination as viewers from across the world flocked to see the real-life set of their favorite show. This success led to a rapid expansion of the store, new spin-off series, and a surge in merchandise sales. Yet, while the financial rewards were abundant, the pressure that came with fame became palpable for the cast, particularly the Harrison family. As the show grew in popularity, the line between business and entertainment began to blur. The Harrisons were no longer just running a pawn shop. They were expected to perform for the cameras, often putting on a show for viewers while balancing the demands of running a real business. This dual expectation of entertaining and running a successful enterprise added stress to their personal lives, turning private struggles into public spectacles. The increasing demands of the show also took a toll on the Harrison family's personal lives. For example, Adam Harrison, Rick's son, became embroiled in personal battles that were never fully addressed on the show, but which, over time, contributed to a sense of public tragedy. His absence from the series raised questions, and when his struggles became more apparent, they underscored the hidden costs of fame. What started as a story about a family-run business quickly became a narrative about the complexities of family relationships, public scrutiny, and the toll that being in the limelight could take on individuals. In the end, the success of Pawn Stars brought both accolades and challenges, and as the cast navigated the spotlight, their personal lives became inextricably linked to their on-screen personas, for better or for worse. The Harrison family legal struggles and their impact on Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars, once the most popular reality TV show on the History Channel, has undergone a dramatic fall from grace in recent years, particularly following the passing of its patriarch, Richard Harrison, in 2018. The show, which had initially been a celebration of family dynamics and unique pawn shop transactions, now finds itself embroiled in a series of personal and legal scandals that have overshadowed its legacy. Among the most significant controversies is the ongoing legal battle between Rick Harrison, the face of the show, and his mother, Joanne Harrison, which has raised serious questions about family betrayal, financial misconduct, and the dark undercurrents of running a business based on public perception. Joanne Harrison's lawsuit against Rick. Joanne Harrison's legal proceedings against her son Rick have highlighted a fractured relationship within the Harrison family. In her lawsuit, Joanne claims that Rick had manipulated her into relinquishing her 51% stake in the gold and silver pawn shop. She alleges that this occurred during a period when she was unconscious, thus rendering the transaction invalid. Additionally, Joanne contends that Rick had stopped paying her $225,000 annually that she was entitled to as a shareholder in the family business. As a result, she requested the court to not only return her shares, but also demanded a detailed list of assets and a temporary protection order to prevent Rick from further selling family property. Joanne's lawsuit paints a picture of financial secrecy and emotional manipulation, which has sent shockwaves through the public. She claims that Rick failed to provide proof of the shop's assets, which were valued at over $500,000, further deepening her suspicions of financial misconduct. As the case continued to unfold, it became clear that what had once been a thriving, family-run pawn business was now at the center of a bitter dispute, involving accusations of deceit, financial mismanagement, and the erosion of trust. The strain of losing. Richard Harrison. The death of Richard Old Man. Harrison, in 2018, marked a turning point for Pawn Stars. While the family's legacy and the show's popularity continued, the loss of the patriarch left a void that exposed underlying tensions and cracks within the business and the family unit. Prior to his death, Richard had been the cornerstone of the show, bringing a no-nonsense approach and a sharp wit that endeared him to audiences. With his passing, it became apparent that the Harrison family's public persona as a united and successful business empire was unraveling. The fallout from Richard's death was immediate and profound. Disagreements over the ownership and future of the gold and silver pawn shop, combined with the growing public knowledge of Rick Harrison's strained relationships with certain family members, led to a series of legal battles. These included not only Joanne Harrison's lawsuit, but also other financial disputes and challenges to the integrity of the business. The simple image of a family-run pawn shop had morphed into a complex legal drama, with each court case pulling the Harrisons deeper into public scrutiny. Pandemic's impact on Pawn Stars and the shop's financial troubles. While family disputes and legal battles were taking center stage, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 provided another blow to the already fragile business. Pawn Stars had always thrived on the foot traffic generated by Las Vegas tourism, with visitors flocking to the gold and silver pawn shop to meet the stars of the show and witness real-time deals involving rare antiques, historical artifacts, and quirky collectibles. However, when the pandemic hit, tourism ground to a halt, and the pawn shop faced its most severe financial crisis in years. Rick Harrison himself spoke openly about the challenges the shop faced during this time. In 2021, the gold and silver pawn shop made a mere $6, a staggering decline from its typical annual earnings of over $1 million. With Las Vegas essentially closed to tourists, the pawn shop was eerily quiet. The usual hustle and bustle of customers looking to sell or pawn interesting items were replaced by an almost ghostly stillness. With fewer customers coming in and fewer rare items available to negotiate, the shop's appeal diminished, further exacerbating the financial difficulties. What was even more perplexing, however, was the behavior of some of the customers who did visit. Rick noted that during this time, there was a strange increase in consumer spending, despite the uncertain economy. He attributed this to the government stimulus payments, which led people to spend their newfound funds on valuable items, collectibles, and antiques. However, amidst this strange economic climate, one bizarre incident stood out. A customer came into the shop trying to sell a bag full of human heads. Although it was an odd and unsettling moment, Rick wisely turned down the sale, which further cemented the strange and unpredictable nature of business during the pandemic. The legacy of the show under scrutiny. Chumlee's scandals. Aside from Rick Harrison's legal woes, another key figure in the Pawn Stars cast, Austin Chumlee Russell, also became embroiled in his own series of legal controversies that further tarnished the show's reputation. Chumlee had been a fan favorite for his humorous antics and unique personality. However, his off-screen behavior increasingly became a source of concern. Chumlee's troubles with the law began in 2012, when he was arrested after a physical altercation in Hollywood. While the specifics of the incident were largely kept under wraps, it marked the beginning of a troubling pattern of legal issues. In 2016, police conducted a search of Chumlee's Las Vegas home after investigating a series of accusations, which ultimately resulted in the discovery of a large amount of illegal contraband. Authorities found cocaine, methamphetamine, marijuana, and several illegal firearms on the premises. Chumlee faced 19 counts of drug possession and 1 count of criminal weapon possession. The charges were serious, but Chumlee avoided jail time by pleading guilty to both the drug and weapons charges. Instead, he was sentenced to counseling and probation. Publicly, Chumlee expressed regret for his actions and apologized. But the damage to his reputation and to the show was already done. Many viewers, who had once viewed him as a lovable, quirky character, now saw him in a more critical light. Despite the scandal, Pawn Stars producers chose to keep Chumlee on the show, allowing him to work through his legal troubles and make amends publicly. His return to the show after his legal issues became a subject of much debate among fans, many of whom felt his behavior had irreparably damaged the show's image. While some viewers appreciated Chumlee's public apology and his efforts to reform, others questioned whether his actions were too serious to ignore. Corey Harrison's public controversies and legal battles. Corey Harrison, another prominent member of the Pawn Stars family, also found himself embroiled in various controversies. Although he has always been a staple on the show, Corey's off-screen behavior led to multiple incidents that resulted in negative press. One such event occurred during a motorbike tour, when Corey was caught urinating in public. This was followed by an altercation at a pub, where he was reportedly involved in a fight that led to his removal from the establishment. The public backlash from these incidents was swift and unforgiving, with many questioning his professionalism and judgment. Corey's controversies didn't end there. He also found himself entangled in a legal dispute over an RV rental. The owner of the RV sued Corey, claiming that he had returned the vehicle in poor condition, leading to damages and breach of contract. This legal battle further tarnished Corey's public image, casting a shadow over his role in the family business. While Corey issued public apologies for his actions and expressed regret, the damage to his reputation lingered. Johnny Jim and other Pawn Stars scandals. As if the troubles within the Harrison family weren't enough, other members of the Pawn Stars cast faced their own scandals. Johnny Jim, a well-known expert on the show, was arrested for domestic violence following an altercation with his girlfriend. The incident, which occurred while both were reportedly intoxicated, resulted in Johnny allegedly pulling his girlfriend to the ground. The arrest drew significant media attention and cast a dark shadow over the show's family-friendly image. Additionally, the show faced a lawsuit in 2012 when a disabled Vietnam War veteran accused Richard and Rick Harrison of assaulting him inside the gold and silver pawn shop. The man claimed that the Harrisons had put him in a chokehold and dragged him through the store, leading to a civil suit. While the details of the case were murky, the lawsuit added to the growing list of legal issues surrounding the show and its stars. Another casualty of scandal was Olivia Black, who appeared on the show for just 13 episodes before being let go. The reason for her departure was the circulation of provocative photos from her time as a member of the Suicide Girls, a group known for modeling alternative, often risque photographs. Despite her talents and work at the pawn shop, Olivia's past came back to haunt her, leading to her removal from the show. Pawn Stars decline, a family business in crisis. Over the years, Pawn Stars had grown from a local pawn shop in Las Vegas to a global cultural phenomenon. However, as scandals continued to mount, the show began to lose its charm. The once celebrated family business was now at the center of personal conflicts, legal disputes, and a tarnished public image. While the Harrisons had built an empire through their reality TV show, their personal lives were in turmoil, and the cracks in the family's unity were becoming increasingly evident. The loss of Richard Harrison, the legal battles with Joanne, Chumlee's criminal charges, Corey's public scandals, and Johnny Jim's arrest all contributed to the gradual decline of Pawn Stars. What had once been a heartwarming tale of a family working together to run a pawn shop had now become a cautionary tale about the dangers of fame, fortune, and the complexities of family business. The end of an era? As Pawn Stars continues its run on television, the future of the show remains uncertain. Once a cultural phenomenon, the series has been significantly impacted by a series of scandals involving its stars. The Harrisons, who were once seen as the quintessential reality TV family, have faced legal battles, personal struggles, and public backlash. These controversies have not only shaken the image of the family, but have also affected the reputation of the gold and silver pawn shop, once a symbol of success. The show's ability to recover from these challenges depends on whether it can adapt and move beyond the drama that has clouded its legacy. The Harrisons' personal issues, combined with the legal troubles of other cast members like Chumlee and Corey, have shifted the narrative from a light-hearted look at a family business to a more complicated and sometimes uncomfortable public saga. Whether the show can regain the charm and success it once enjoyed, or whether its scandals will overshadow its legacy, is yet to be seen. What is certain, however, is that the world of Pawn Stars has irrevocably changed, and the future of the franchise hangs in the balance.